From the backstretch at Saratoga, this is Loose on the Lead with Steve Bick and Seth Merrow. Loose on the Lead is sponsored by
Good morning and welcome to edition number 1 of traditional Saratoga Loose on the Lead. Seth Merrow and Steve Bick. Sunday mornings, as usual. We were here a couple of weeks ago with the bonus Loose on the Lead, but happy to be back kicking off the season here on a Sunday morning live from our Clare Court location. A little bit later on, we'll be joined by Keri Brion. She has some runners coming up here at Saratoga. We'll talk to her. Also, the Legion Bloodstock people. They had one of their purchases win the stake yesterday up here at Saratoga. Kyle Zorn and Christian Vellante will join us. But we're going to kick things off. Speaking of stakes winners early in the Saratoga meet, trainer Jose D'Angelo won the Coronation Cup a couple of days ago with Twirling Queen. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Jose.
Jose, good morning. Good to have you. Seth?
Thank you for the invitation here.
Yeah, happy to have you on board. And before we get into the race from the other day, you were talking just before we went on the air. I'm always curious where folks are stationed up here. You said you're right back here, right by Clare Court.
Yes, just back here.
It's a great location.
It's excellent. It's so relaxed over there. Close to the track, so I like a lot there. First time.
And I'm curious. Have you been using Clare Court at all? Because I know a lot of trainers. It'll calm some horses down. It's just such a nice kind of quiet atmosphere back here.
Yes, my first time was in Saratoga was just like a few horses, like 2, 3, most likely chipping from Monmouth. But now we have the barn there. It's so quiet, so relaxed. When you go there, it's like if you go into a forest. You have the pony track too, so the horses appreciate that.
Yeah, it is a great atmosphere for us as well. Getting the horses working out behind us in the morning. You mentioned horses down in Monmouth. You're a Florida guy as well. So this summer you're kind of doing a little focus up here at Saratoga as well.
Yes, it's like the principal meeting of the country right now. So my goal is try to stay on the big races and have good horses for these kind of races. We are doing that. It's working. With the filly just won 2 days ago. So
then let's take a look at that. We have a replay stretch run of the Coronation Cup, Twirling Queen. Give us your thoughts on the performance the other day and what you expected going into the race.
I was very confident on her. The filly won in. I really like it since the first day, but to me she was her style running was just get the lead. After the first day that we won in Goldstream, I spoke with Louis and said, Louis, go and take the lead and make it wide to wide.
Yeah.
She's ready and she's gonna do that. She can get the lead. The Terreno got the lead with Irat. She ran third, second, and boom, win the race. So after that, I learned from her, like, she can be, flexible on her style. And when we sent her to Keeneland, I said to Arietta the same, hey, if have so many speed on the race, you can sit, and at the top of the stretch, go for them that she's going to respond. We did the same here.
She's on a four race win streak, we should mention, and it certainly didn't hurt that Barrier ended up scratching coming out of the race, and she looked like I thought. In fact, I had this discussion, I think, with Marcus Hirsch Friday on the radio, and she ended up going off at a very, I thought, surprising price. I mean, for her to pay $940, I didn't expect. I mean, she didn't get bet like you would have thought.
I think first time that she paid this kind of money, always pay much more.
Yeah,
no confidence in her.
Yeah, well, that was the storyline. That here was a horse that was on a 3-race win streak, and she paid double digits, and people just don't seem convinced about her.
Talk a little bit about the plans going forward for her.
Now we have 2 races, the Galway here the next month. But if you see her campaign, we manage very well, like how she feel and how she train. The main goal goal is the Musical City. I think is the name of the section. Kentucky Downs, $2 million races, $2 million. That's the goal now. We are planning probably the Galway and this race and see. We don't have the her race on the Breeders' Cup because it's against boys, but we're gonna see.
Sure. How'd she come out of the race?
Excellent. Good, with good attitude. She was race 9. After the last race, she's still so excited after the race, so we have to walk again and relax her, calm down. She was happy.
Jose, talk about her coming to you. Norm Cassie had her last year as a 2-year-old, and the move to the synthetic, the first 2 races on the Tapeta at Gulfstream, then the Mamselle at Churchill. Obviously, she was always made. Twirling Candy can really get any kind of a horse, but Turf certainly works. Talk about the decision and put her in this direction because it's evident this is what she wanted to do all along.
She came to run pretty good. His owner moved because was the championship meet and he wanted to have the horses in Miami. So I started training her and she don't have big size. So if you see her workouts, that just 3 furlongs, you are trying to, like trainer, you have to try to understand your horse and make them feel happy. If they are good and they have the talent and you put on the right spot, they're gonna show to you his or her ability. So I worked 3 furlongs and she was so quickly. When I put on the grass, was much better because she won first time out on there. So I have to figure out where she belongs or where she can do better. When I saw that this quickly, that's why I thought she was just speed horse, but she has just so much talent, and I think also that probably she can go a little longer.
I want to shift gears now because you had a nice experience a few weeks ago. I know you've had horses run over in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and you made Royal Ascot the other day, and we had the replay of Gabaldon. This had to be frustrating, but it had to make you feel great. I'll tell people as we watch the replay, Gabaldon is going to be on the close side here, on the right there. You see in the red silks, takes the lead and is just going to get caught late. Talk about the Royal Ascot experience. And again, it had to be a little bit disappointing not to get the win off the nice run, but a nice second there with So talk about the experience.
It was an amazing experience. One of the best of my life. There with a horse and a 2-year-old. Like he have 2-year-old, but he's so smart. He have a big heart and a smart horse, more than his talent because he's gifted and talented. He's smart. He learned, we traveled from Miami to Kentucky. Kentucky we trained 2 days, and from Kentucky to Indiana, and from Indiana to Ascot. It's a big deal for a 2-year-old. I was pretty sure that he's gonna win the race. I was very confident on him. So my owner at the morning when we was leaving the hotel said to me, Jose, I have to bring my binocs. I said, no, you're not gonna need the binocs. You're gonna just see a white bullet in front. Come on, you sure? Yes. So we did a lot of gate work because there is nobody inside the gate. So I was very focused in trying to have a good start because here you have help inside the gate and over there not. I'm for a baby. So we work from the gate, every day after training and before training, go to the gate, stand back. I think was a huge race. I can't complain. We learned, me and Jaramillo, the jockey, we walked the track the morning with Ocean Murphy. I have to say thank you to him for show us, because for us we don't have the culture from Venezuela to first we don't have grass over there. To walk the track neither. So we learn and you can see how the things can happen and the way that the ground for what Gabaldon was running wasn't the best. Was better inside. If you see races this day, everybody tried to close and go to the middle. But it was a good experience and we almost get the win. So we have to go back and get the win.
Yeah, I was reading an interview with you after the race. Smart. You reached out to George Weaver and got some advice, and which makes sense because things are different over there.
Yes.
And so, hey, let me tap into the experience of folks who've been over already.
Yes, I have to say thank you because always, if you can have to ask to somebody, train horses is you can't train the horses like the same for everybody because they are, like persons. Everybody's different. We like different things. So, but go there, all is different than here. So he was very successful over there. I called him and he was, hey, we talked like 30 minutes. And he explained to me everything that he did. I said, okay, George, any details? And he was very, very good with me. It's hard because here you train on a track. You have the track every day. Yeah. But there you have, like, where we arrived, like a half track of poly and like just 3 lines, just fields. So it's very different, up and down, sure, like Kentucky Downs, but probably worse. So yeah. For me was everything new.
Talk a little bit about the experience, Saudi Arabia and Dubai. What were those like?
Oh wow, was very, very amazing there. Impressed, ran for these beautiful tracks and the best horses of the world.
But third in the Saudi Derby behind
yes,
Forever Young.
With Ben Tornado. Ben Tornado is a good Florida horse. Like, I was very sure that he can win the last step of the Florida Stallions and he lose. So my only guess on him was the distance. So as soon as I see like he can't go so long, I have to regroup with my owner and make a plan because like every time that you have a nice 3-year-old, you want to go to a derby. We want to go to a derby.
Yeah.
But you have to go to a derby with the right horse. I always say, like, if you have the horse to the derby, you have to at least in your mind be sure that you can win the derby, not just run for run. Yeah. Yeah. So I say, hey, listen, this is the plan. I think it's good kind of money. I think the horse have chance, but just the 2 furlongs extra gonna be tough for us. So let's try to stall the race from the gate and see what happens. And the horse looks like the winner at the top of the stretch, and he looks against Forever Young and Books and Damo. That's confirmed the quality of my horse because Book and Damo won here the Belmont Stakes week, and Forever Young lose by nose the Derby, and probably lose. Sierra Leone ran a huge race too, but he missed the break on the Derby. So that's confirmed the quality, and that we was right with Ben Tornado. Just he need to go on the perfect spot between 6 and 7 furlongs.
And I saw he's back working.
Yes, he's doing pretty well. After back from Saudi, he got splint, so that's why we lose more time. But he's coming good, and hopefully, like in 1 month, 1 month and a half, we have him running again.
He's down at Palmetto's, worked yesterday.
Yes, he worked 4 furlongs, 49, pretty good, nice gallop out, and he's the same horse before go to Saudi. That's very important because not all the horses, came back like the same when they go to the middles.
Do you have time to get to something like the Pennsylvania Derby, or is there?
We was looking the races and waiting to have him first ready, and we see the auction.
We'll go from there. All right.
Talk a little bit about your background. How'd you get into the game? From what reading, your dad was a trainer, and so there's a family connection. But talk a little bit about how you became a trainer yourself.
I came from a family from horses. My grandfather, they write the magazine in Venezuela, like the DRF. My father was trainer in Venezuela. He was champion 3 times. Good, so good. He is so good over there. So I learned everything from him. But he retired on the 2007, and I started training horses by myself on 2012. So when I started, he was retired. He was helping me every day at the environment there with me. But at the 2015, he came to USA. So I was by myself over there. We won some races over there. We won the big state there, the Clásico Simón Bolívar, the leading meeting. I won the same. One of my goals there was try to win the same titles that he won there. Like there, you have like when you are first-time trainer, like the apprentice. So I won. He won 2, also 2, and I won leader and trainer like him too on the same track, like the main track over there. So after one day, I said, I'm ready to go with you.
I like it.
And now we are working together, and that let me move with my horses.
Yeah. It's a luxury.
The team's still, doing good because we are a team and we are 2-1.
So your grandfather puts together what is like the DRF equivalent in Venezuela?
Yes, like they have a magazine named the Guia Hípica, so they work for that. And my family, my uncle he did the auctions, so all related with horses. They love the horse racing.
So you get good write-ups, I'm assuming.
Yes.
It's good press.
You mentioned the auctions, and I know you're a participant in the auctions, and some of these horses you've had very good prices as well. And reading again, you reached out to the right guys. I read you reached out to Kenny McPeak and kind of shadowed him around as he went to auction. So talk a little bit about the auction experience.
I ran Jesus thing on the Preakness at Baltimore, and was authentic. The space, on the middle of the arm. Jesus team, so it's a skydiver, the filly that won the Black Age Susan this year. So I meet Kenny over there, Buffer too, and Chad Summers too. He helped me a lot there because it was my first time moving horses, and you have to do the license, everything. The weather changed. That for me was in Venezuela. The weather never changed. So to put the blanket. Every morning when the jockey came to ride the skydiver, I put him on the filly and Kenny go to the track. So after the race, Kenny said, "Hey, whatever you need in Kentucky, just hit me out. This is my phone number." Okay, thank you. When I ran the Breeders' Cup, I always, when ran Jesus' team, the next week I sent him to a farm or paddock to, distress a little bit and enjoy himself. Say, "Hey, Kenny, I'm here at Keeneland, and no run pens, no paddocks here. No problem, come to my farm, to Magdalena." So we spent 1 week there.
Nice.
The horse was so happy there. I started, I like to see and learn every day. I think with horses, you learn for everybody. You can learn something good. You doing your way, you can do something real good. So, hey, picking horses, you see, he's always on the good races. I say, "Hey, can I go with you to the sales?" And say, "Hey, come on, 6 a.m. here at the entrance on Keeneland." And I follow with him and with a few horses. And I learn because in Venezuela everything's different. So you have to try buy the bigger one. Here, you have to try to buy the ability. Like here can roam small, bigger. It's different.
And again, so the summer you got horses up here, Monmouth and Gulfstream.
Gulfstream, yes.
So what's your plan? Are you going to bounce back and forth?
Yes, back and forth. Stay more here. Probably just a few days. Every 2 weeks to Florida to visit and see things how it's going over there. But everything is going good now in all the 3 places. You have to be focused and make the right campaign and the right races for the horses.
And just before we let you go, give us your impression as a trainer and starting in a foreign country, and you've been all around the world. Just your impressions of Saratoga, and getting a victory up here as well.
Thank you. Yes, it was so good.
Yeah, talk a little bit about your impression of being a trainer up here at Saratoga.
Hey, thanks God every year that we came here. Just not the first time we won, because we ran Jesus' thing on the Gin Dandy, just one race. So now every year we won. At the second year I was here, somebody told me something about you are off the dock. What do you say?
What does that mean?
Say, yes, what do you say? So
I could see if you didn't know.
I don't ask because I want, I don't understand, so I don't want to look stupid. So I asked it to Joe. "Hey, Joe, what he tried to say to me off the dock? That you finally win. Winning here is so hard. Some people run 25 times and no luck. So you have to win and you can sleep for the rest of the meeting." "Oh yeah, thank you." So hey, thankfully now we can sleep. We won just the second day.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Congratulations, obviously, on the win. Start the meet off with a nice stakes win like that. We appreciate the visit this morning, and
It's got 3 horses in today, and it seems like Downing Street's got the biggest
just
chance.
one, yes. He won nice last time. He have ability, but he's a horse that his mind is so tough. So he tried to lock a little bit. He won last race on the Tapira at Gulfstream. He gonna appreciate the distance this time. We have good rider like Ben Curtis. So
I was going to say, is Ben was named, and of course he's just come back from the separated shoulder. And in fact, when the Legion guys are here, regular rider of Honor Marie, I saw that Ben was named, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be in town or he's here.
He's here. I don't know his plans, but yes, he's here, and we're ready for
nice.
Today.
Good for him. Nice for those that the English rider who came. He came technically for the winter, and things went so well that he stayed, and that included getting to the Derby.
Yes.
Then he got hurt, and he just came back. That's cool.
Yes.
Good for you. You've also got Gilded Age, who's 30-1 with Tyler. That's in the 7th, and in the 5th, Salacious, who's a big price. David made him 20-1, which seems high.
Yes, no, we just scratched.
Scratched Salacious?
Yes,
all right.
Yes, we give more time.
Very good. And you've got a hatful of maidens this week at Gulfstream. And
yes.
Who's your best 2-year-old?
The babies are trained very good right now. We have here 3 horses that they look real good. Summer of George, Guns Loaded, Sherman 40. At the moment, they are doing very well, and our plan is try to run here before the meet's over. But I have horses with lots of talent. I am prepping them in Palmeros. Like when they are close to run, we're gonna try to split between here and Monmouth and put on the right place, because it's very important. More than win first time out. Not every horse have the ability to win first time out. I know here is a country that the numbers are very important, but I think it's more important like make the horse and prep them for the future. Sometimes you win first time out and the horse is not ready to go at his second race of his career to stakes, because the other ones is so tough to make. So I'm trying to go with them step by step. Nice. and not push them, and have to a decent and good campaign for 3-year-old. If they are early, we're gonna do good too with them.
Summer of George, Guns Loaded, and
Sherman 40. Sherman Fury. Sherman is like a tank.
Fury. Oh, Sherman.
Yes, Fury.
Sherman Fury.
Yes.
Got it.
They are here, and we just want filly named enjoy the breakfast. Very
nice.
Very good too, but no word yet here.
Where are you? Also, we should mention you've got a very nice group behind you. More Play Racing, No More Time,
yes.
Sam Davis winner.
Yes, Rich Mendes and all his family, and Dean DiRenzo and Randy Harley owns him. I really owe it to the horse. Like this year he put us on the Derby. Was the last workout before to. Very unfortunate to go to Kentucky. He worked was so good, and he came back sore. But it's a horse that no big size too, like Twirling Queen, but big heart. He ran a huge races on the Tampa Bay Derby, the Sam Davis, the Mucho Macho Man, the Mucho Macho Man when he came from the layoff. I owe it to the horse, like probably go to my first Derby, and I was pretty sure that we have the chance, because like his style running is good for for the Derby, if with the rain and everything, like every year. But I think you have to talk from the life, like just the good things, and we learn. Was a good memories here with Jim, and just hopefully for a good and well recovery.
Nice.
Again, we wish you a lot of good luck going forward in the rest of the meet. We'll look for you in the winner's circle on your return trips, and wish you good luck at the other venues this summer as well. Jose, we really appreciate the visit. Jose D'Angelo off the duck at Saratoga for 2024.
Finally, I know.
Congratulations, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, we'll head to a break. When we come back, more on Loose on the Lead. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the racetrack
A minute ago, you were playing with the mic, I guess, and I did hear.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Turn your love of racing into savings with equine discounts through the NTRA. Purchase through equine discounts and receive great savings on well-known brands like John Deere, Sherwin-Williams, Big Ass Fans, Farmers Insurance, and Office Depot. Join thousands of other equine members and support companies that give back to the sport we all love. Call 866-678-4289 or visit equinediscounts.com to start saving today.
We're back?
Yes, we are back.
All right, we're back.
There's
on
a delay on our monitor.
We got not just a delay. There's no lights. It's it's a free for all here on the backstretch at Saratoga, across from the 7 furlong chute, and happy to welcome in Keri Brion, who is running horses at 8 or 9 venues across North America. She runs them over the jumps. You're going to do some Appaloosas and some paints real
Maybe,
soon.
yeah,
some
yeah,
quarters.
try that. Get some trotters.
Anything at Paris for the Olympics, the equestrian? No?
Yeah.
Not this year?
Not this year, maybe next year.
Unbelievable. Keri joining us because today, Crabs and Beer takes some Maryland bread into town, but of course there's also the AP Smithwick. We're hoping the weather cooperates, and I just thought it was overdue to have you come visit.
Yeah, thanks. I think the last time I was on here, I was still a jockey, and it didn't end well for me that day either.
You haven't been on.
I don't think so.
She was on with me.
I'm saying, but that was
years.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. I rode the AP Smithwick, and I fell off.
That was back when you wore ties.
Well, today I got dark shirt. Dark shirts and ties don't go for me.
And I do remember you in the program, but when did you stop riding?
2019, when Jonathan kind of took a step back,
right.
I kind of got more of a role as assistant. I always wanted to train, so that was kind of my cue. I wasn't a great jockey.
No?
No, not really.
Well, you mentioned Jonathan Shepard. I just want to jump in because you're now the second alumni in 2 days. I had Grand Motion yesterday.
Yeah.
And I said, and everybody who watches the show knows I'm a huge, or was for years and years, a fan of Jonathan Shepard. He'd always have a long shot for me up here at Saratoga. Just remember Jonathan Shepard a little bit.
Yeah, oh, he was great. I mean, I credit being here to him. Really, everything I know came from him. So, and being able to start out on my own, I had some really good owners. Even though I started out primarily just steeplechase, I had some really great owners that came with me from him, So, I owe a lot to him. He was great to me.
Yeah, as I say, he'll go down as probably my favorite all-time
Yeah.
trainer and paid off a few times. You mentioned Crabs and Beer, and I'll mention I pulled up a replay. I went back to the win earlier this season at Laurel back in April. We're going to watch Crabs and Beer. He's got the. I'm just looking here.
Blinkers on outside.
Yeah, and so in the 7th race this afternoon, give us some thoughts on Crabs and Beer this afternoon.
Yeah, well, I love him. He's obviously like my stable star. we're trying him at a longer distance, which I think he's going to love. You probably saw I took the blinkers off of him his next start after that. I didn't actually think this win was a great effort that day. It was fine, but he's better than that. And we ran him in the dinner party, and everyone thought I was crazy. And Javi really believes in the horse and gets along with him really well, and he gave him a great ride that day, and I had taken the blinkers off, which I think he was actually hanging on horses. He's an older horse. He's very genuine. He doesn't need the blinkers. He ran a huge race that day in the dinner party.
On a soft course.
On a soft track. And I actually think a lot of people thought that it was a little bit of a fluke because it was soft and he liked it and this and that. So when I brought him back up to Aqueduct and ran him into 2 other than, I think Javi took off of him that day and rode a different horse. I think, there was questions on was that a fluke in the dinner party, and he proved it wasn't. He's a good horse, and he's continuing to get better, and I think the distance will actually improve him once again. I think he's dying to go farther. So, fingers crossed, yeah.
How do you decide something like that?
Well,
when you kind of flirt with these marathonish type distances.
Well, I mean, working for Jonathan, I think, gives me a little bit of an edge because these are the types of horses that I got to work so closely with, Cloudy's Night and, horses like that. And, yeah. And I'm not saying Crabs is Cloudy's Night, but that type of a horse, and he has tactical speed, but he has stamina and, he sets himself apart. And you don't see it in there, but we did his wind before before he won at Laurel, and he's just continuing to get better and better since his throat was done. And he's a horse that just the way he trains, the way he goes, I mean, his gallop out, his last work, his gallop out will just make your jaw drop. Like, he can never get enough in the mornings, and he's just all systems point. He relaxes early, he comes late, and you would almost argue he just always kind of runs out of room. I mean, he was still closing in the dinner party, and he galloped out with the winner. So we'll see. I'm either going to look smart or stupid, but that's this game, isn't it?
Well, and in fact, we made him the DePaula play of the day today at 8-1. It felt like, no pressure on her at all. But this is a horse that you and I have talked about, and it just is a horse that kind of fits my image of a play of the day opportunity. It's going to be a middle price long shot. Frankly, I think he might even drift up from the 8-1 because your name is not going to be as familiar to players as Mott and McGahee and Clement, etc., McPeak, Pletcher. And so I thought that that 8-1 will get at least that. And then being outposted in a 3-turn race, that's even another possible benefit because if people are going to discount him. I think Javi probably will, let him settle and go try to save some ground early.
He's a really interesting horse because, we were running him in Maryland, obviously, all last year, and like the thing I kept saying is he actually breaks really sharp every time he breaks if you watch him, but if you let him run up behind the leaders, he does too much early and tires himself out. He doesn't finish. So he has to be ridden, no matter pace or no pace, he has to be ridden, switched off. He doesn't have to be last, but he has to be covered up, kind of biding his time. And if he switches off early, he'll come running late. So that's exactly it. I'm not really worried about the post because he's just going to tuck in and bide his time.
Exactly. And to me, this is a big opportunity. You look at his running lines. He's a horse that really can be placed anywhere as circumstances dictate. And to have Javi, who does know him and rode him well in the allowance and in the dinner party, the DePaula play of the day. Let's see if we can't get going. This is our second shot at it. Keri, let's talk some other opportunities and general approach because you come from the steeplechase background, but you're running a lot of flat horses, and the operation you really seem to make a point of positioning yourself as you started to go on your own as being open to other opportunities. What's the percentage? You and I talked about this at Far Hills last fall when you were also dealing with HISA hijinks, which you beat back successfully. Talk about those decisions and wanting to avoid pigeonholing yourself as a as a hurdle trainer.
Well, right. So, I mean, obviously, when I started off, I was lucky enough to have the horses that I came up here and we just dominated, which was great. It got my name out there, but it got my name out there, as you said, like she's the jumps trainer. And funny enough, before I worked for Jonathan, when I came to work for Jonathan, I didn't even know about jump racing. Like I was a flat girl. Like I loved flat racing. So I always wanted to build up a flat stable. That was always going to be like my goal. But you have what you get. Like I started out with some great jumpers, and you do kind of, well, she's the jumps trainer, so like that's great. But it's taken a little bit of time, not too much time, really. I guess when we think about it. I mean, to think this is my 4th year training, and I have stalls up here, and the stalls are occupied by flat horses, not steeplechase horses. I've been lucky enough to get involved with some really great owners that have supported me, like Three Diamonds Farm, Kirk Wyckoff. He really boosted me this winter at Gulfstream and sent me some nice horses that we were able to win first time out with, and sprinting and on the dirt and not all turf, and like kind of started to show I can do more than just train them to go 2 miles over obstacles. And from there, owners call, and I've gotten a lot of babies and a lot of 2-year-olds from the sales, and we're just building it up as we go and trying to get results. And I have a great team. I mean, we're all over the place with a lot of horses, and I'd say now probably 70% flat horses, 30% jumpers.
Nice.
And I kind of just, jumping's great, and I will always love it and always be involved. But I think, I'm trying to make a living doing this, and the flat racing, more opportunity, more money. Just, it's an easier sport in the sense of there's way more opportunity to run horses. Jump racing is very small. So I would like to just have quality jump horses that I can come up here every summer, run in the big races, and kind of just have a stable like that and really focus on the flat horses otherwise.
Well, and the Mid-Atlantic heritage, as it were, offers you the opportunity to really run, certainly during the summer, from Colonial, up to here.
Well, right,
Laurel
exactly. And there's
and
it's been great. Like I've gotten some horses that might not be, Kentucky material or up here material, and then I get them in the Mid-Atlantic, and then I get to run them in spots that they can win, and it's good for everybody. The owners are happy. Their horses might not have competed up here, but they can compete down our way, and like you said, lots of opportunity to place horses. So
I'm curious how you handle the summertime, because as Steve said, you have horses all over the place. Looking at Crabs and Beer and the 2 jumpers on Wednesday, they're working down at Fairhill.
Yeah.
And you've got horses running all over. So how do you handle the summertime?
I'm embracing my inner Jonathan Shepard. I mean, he used to just drive up and down it was unbelievable how he did it.
Famous Leadfoot.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was scary to drive with. Yes. Very scary. I feel like I'm not that bad, but I actually, Crabs and Beer did his last work at Fairhill. I was there for that. The jumpers also did. I left after the jumpers worked their final work, and I've been here since. But really, it's like, we've kind of been practicing for this summer. Like, I have a great team that, from Colonial, the great assistant Lily. At Fairhill, I have Heidi and Sandra. Up here, I have Jen, and Delaware, I have Greg. And everybody just focuses on their jobs, talks to me, communication, and the owners are happy with everybody. And you got to have a great team behind you in order to do this. That's for sure.
And I was reading you're over in the annex.
Yeah, where Jonathan used to be. Well, on the other side, but which was great that I stalls for the first year and got back there. So it's a great spot.
Very good.
The annex is fun. The annex is a lot of fun. We're going to talk about Wednesday, and we hope the weather holds for the Smithwick. And you also, of course, are going to take full advantage of the big Thursdays at Colonial with the trio of races.
Yep.
For those of you that listened in this week, had Bill Gallo. We talked about there's going to be a pick 3 that everybody can bet on. This is the first year of betting on chase racing at Colonial. You've got entered. You sent a bunch again. Thursday.
We have a bunch for Thursday. So it's tough. My jump jockey will be coming up here, riding Wednesday, turning right around, driving back, and then going to Colonial the next day. So
Steve Mulqueen.
Steve, he's my stable jockey. So.
Well, Mulqueen is on Freddie Flintshire for our friend Patrick Lewis. Patrick actually also has got the one with Richard Hendricks, West Newton, who won at Aiken to start the year. And in fact, I think that was the first stake of the year.
Yeah.
Patrick, Patrick's gung-ho.
He is.
Right?
He is.
Patrick
He's
loves
enthusiastic.
it like nobody. And, of course, he had the win at Presque Isle. You sent some to Presque.
Yeah. I just had a winner for Stuart Grant at Presque Isle the other night. Yeah. Another track we can utilize, all weather, close to us.
And like she said, the travel portion, you never know. I got on an airplane in Florida this winter, and there was a seat between me and there was a woman in on the window, and I forget who called. I think Tina called, and we were running at Aqueduct over the weekend, and Tina called me and I said, well, we'll go down and we're in the 7th or whatever it was, the 9th, and I get off the phone and the woman said, are you involved in horse racing? I said, I am. She goes, who are you? I said, Steve Beck. I do the radio show on Sirius XM. And Capital OTB, Loose on the Lead. Seth Merrow. I'm Seth Merrow's TV partner. I should have led with that. And she said, oh, I'm Brittany Russell. She'd been on the show 8 or 10 times. And she said, is it okay? I have a friend that's going to come sit. Can we save this seat? I said, yeah, sure. And I look up, and here comes Keri. Keri's the friend.
Yeah, I'm the friend.
And I will give Keri Brion a lot of credit. Flying home to Baltimore, Baltimore was the stop. One of the two of them slept, and the other worked on the chart book and planning the workouts. She was working. Brittany Russell
passed out.
Dead.
That's
dead
right.
to sleep. So I want everybody to know that. All right, talk about Freddie and also talk about Sal Cumin and Blue Streak's Going Country.
Yeah. Well, Freddie, I love Freddie. I would just throw out the last run. It was just, none of it was good. We shipped up here for the festival, and he had to ship up here for 3 or 4 days, get rained off, ship home, ship back up to Aqueduct a week later, not even. The training was a little bit interrupted. He was too keen. It was his first start back out properly in almost a year. The way the race set up, they went too slow. He was stuck down on the inside. He fought Steven for the first mile, and that was not his best performance, not even close to it. I love this horse. I think he's very, very talented, and I expect a much improved run, and I would put him right there. Again, I would just throw out his last run. I've always thought highly of him. I think he's a really classy horse, and I expect a much bigger run this time out, and training hasn't been interrupted, and he's been great since the last run.
It's interesting that his 2 jump wins both came at Charlotte.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And it's funny because I actually think he loves a racetrack more than that, but
he won the
novice up here, the allowance up here, maybe it was, but he was second in the novice up here. He loves the track. It just didn't go. Look, sometimes there's so many variables in jump racing. Sometimes it just doesn't go to plan, and it just didn't go to plan, to be honest. But I love him. I think he'll be very tough. I think he'll run a great race.
I tell you, he's run well with given the ground for sure.
Yeah, so if we do get some rain and we're lucky enough that it stays on, the more rain the better. He doesn't mind,
How about Going Country?
The other horse, I know it looks a bit of a crapshoot there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just interrupt for a second. I think we have the replay. I pulled it up from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You ran second in the Shepherd. I wanted to show that because you ran second behind snap decision.
He ran a great race up here that day.
Not bad. So we'll see him running second here. But again, the winner was the very talented snap decision. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
We're a little bit in the same situation here. He gets in at a very, very light weight. I kind of
140.
Yeah, he's getting a ton of weight off of a lot of these horses. And I have to say, I kind of messed up this spring. Foxfield was fine. It was always going to be used just as his prep. He actually ran fine that day. We just gave him the race, just got him around. He came on a lot from it. And then I took him to Nashville, and I ran him in the long distance. It's almost 3 miles, and he actually doesn't want that trip. He came cruising down the backside probably at about 2 miles, and it looked like he was going to just keep on going, and he just was a bit tripless. He didn't see out the almost 3 miles. He's come back. He's always run really good races at the racetrack, which is funny for an Irish horse, but he does seem to like the track. He ran really well up here, like you said, in the Shepherd, in the same kind of situation, getting all the weight off. Parker has a good rapport with the horse. I thought this was kind of the time to take a shot. None of these, a Bond looks clearly the one to beat.
Sure.
Great flat form. But none of these horses are snap decision, not yet anyway. So he's in with a shout. He deserves his chance, and he's been training really well up to it. And, we're going to take a shot and see what happens. Jump
I'll
racing.
ask you as a trainer, and I love the steeplechase races. I have ever since I became a fan up here at Saratoga. And I was sitting in with Steve on the front side last Wednesday on the radio show, and Bill Gallo was there, and we were talking about the Colonial races, and Steve was remarking, at Colonial up here at Saratoga, you look for the horses who maybe had a flat career and have already performed on a racetrack. From a trainer, do you find that some of these jump horses
100%.
prefer the racetrack format as opposed to the
100%. Well, it's turned into such a different format because obviously at the racetracks we don't have the last fence in the stretch. The last fence is on the backside, so it turns into a sprint. So you really need to have a horse that has some flat. That's why a Bond looks so enticing, right? He's a graded stakes winner on the flat. Like, I think it's very hard. Which is funny that Freddie seems to be so good up here, and Going Country has form. Going Country's Irish; he's never run on the flat in his life, and Freddie's a maiden on the flat still. But for the most part, you do need to think that they have some speed because they sprint home half a mile. So the racetrack is like you kind of get more stamina testing horses around the hunt meets. They finish up a hill, have to jump. There's fences all the way up the hill to the wire, that type of thing. So it just kind of. It depends on the horse for sure, but I think they're two different types of races now, the way that it is between the tracks and the hunt meets. Yeah.
A couple other things with Keri Brion here, and Keri, I talked about crabs and beer, and you mentioned Cloudy's Night, and I want to say Rosemary Homebuster, right?
Yep.
Her big horse, and went back repeatedly to Kentucky Downs.
Yeah.
Back before it was really fashionable.
Yeah.
And is Crabs an eligible type for this?
I think so, definitely. Like, you can't see it on form, but I actually ran him at a point-to-point race, which is a steeplechase race for no money,
right.
Prepping a mile and a half on the flat at the beginning of this year, and he handled it really well. He did it great, didn't mind running up and down the hills. He did last year, he did the same thing. Definitely, look, we got to see how today goes before I start thinking about anything else, but I kind of have the John's Call in my head up here.
Nice.
But like I said, today will tell a lot, so I don't want to get ahead of myself.
And of course, a charge for an equal, a contemporary of Jonathan's in the
Tom
late
Voss.
Tom Voss,
Yeah.
who was one of a kind. You also have a big star today. We had Jose D'Angelo, and he's involved with Downing Street. You've got R&K's Lemon Drop Kid gelding that ran okay at Delaware and broke the maiden for 30 plus. Had been off a long layoff.
Yeah.
What do we know about? What do you want us to know about Big Star?
Nice horse. He had 2 years off, so he came back off of an injury, but we got him back.
Pulling a Michael Dickinson. She's
on the lead.
She's
won on the
drawing
lead.
from every great grass trainer in American history. Dickinson, Voss, and Shepard.
Yeah, his first race back out was great. Look, he's an honest little horse, tries hard for us. Owners never had a winner in Saratoga. You have a horse that can come compete, and I think he's live. I don't know. We'll have to see if he's good enough, but he definitely belongs. So when we have a chance, let's take it.
That's a slight drop in class. Mm-hmm. Back in for the tag after running in the allowance at Del Park, and interesting actually. Big Star 6-1. In a very competitive nightcap that I imagine some horses are going to be. There'll be some shakes and there'll be some people reaching in for a number of these. I got a feeling. And then looking ahead during the week, you got Royan looking to break the maiden in the opener Thursday at Colonial. You've got looking ahead also. There was another maiden next. Burning Money comes back in the 6th. Here on Friday or Thursday?
I think it's Friday. Yeah.
Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
What do we know?
I like him. Yeah, he's a nice little 2-year-old. He's kind of done everything right. Great mind, great attitude, and he's fast from the gate. So.
For Dark Horse.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. And this was a wow.
He was bought back. Partners bought people out.
After being $100,000 yearling, then What went on?
Bought partner. I don't know the whole story, but
Didn't work well?
bought partners out down at the sale. Yeah, I think he only went 10-3 on the all weather, but he's a dirt horse. So
see, this is one of the great mysteries of
Yeah.
particularly at OBS, because you got horses that may never see synthetic again, and that's the surface they got to work over, and they don't go as well as somebody that goes 10 flat, and it gets shunted away. This was a horse that was sold at Saratoga for $100,000.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So he came to me and we started working him, and he hasn't missed a work for me. He's been great, and he was in on the grass at Aqueduct the other day. He was on the AE. The only reason I did that was I was hoping it might rain, and just to get him experience before coming up here. But he's not a grass horse or a Tapeta horse. He's a typical Munnings. Looks like a Munnings.
Unbelievable. Burning money for Carrie. Looks live as can be in that state-bred maiden race.
Yeah, I do.
We've
I like
covered
him.
a good one. Very nice. And that was a dam that Ray Handel trained for Dark Horse.
Yep.
Overheated, the distorted humor. That was a 6-figure earner.
Yeah. No, he's a nice little horse, so I'm cautiously optimistic.
Keri Brion, everybody. She's goes to Europe to find horses. She puts partnerships together. She's a major player. Today, I just thought we actually had kind of a theme show, because we've got the next group coming up, the Legion Bloodstock guys that I call on the radio Hard Chargers, the young Hard Chargers. We have Jose D'Angelo, who's emergent, joined us first. Keri Brion, who is a force to be reckoned with. And now Legion Bloodstock. So we're hitting all the young up-and-coming stars, like Seth and I.
Exactly. All right, we'll take a break. We appreciate it. Good luck at the meet.
Thank you.
And again, when we sat down, I don't think we said it when we were on the air, but when we sat down last time you were on, you were a jockey. And so the more things change.
Things have changed. Yeah, things have changed.
And where do they find you on? You've got plenty of social presence and website presence.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. Twitter.
Give
Keri145.
Keri, because it's a little different. Keri, Keri 145.
Yeah.
All right, so follow Keri and
on X. Parentheses, formerly known as Twitter. How long is that going to go on?
It'll always be Twitter to anybody that,
how do you search for X? If you search for X, you're not getting Twitter.
No.
And as we go to the break, a couple of quick things, because otherwise it's going to fall by the wayside. Do we have that picture of Chuck that I sent, either one or both? I want to get an update in for everybody that was so supportive.
I've had probably half a dozen people ask me, and I said I'm going to have to check with Steve.
There, look at that from a couple of summers ago when I took off. Tina and I went to see the pony swim at Chincoteague.
Oh, cool.
You ever go?
Yeah, I actually have. Yeah,
right? Is it the craziest thing ever?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's nuts. So Seth and Chuck hosted those couple of days for me while I was gone. Actually, because we were at Colonial, then Chincoteague, and then Delaware. And
ratings through the roof.
The people went crazy. And that was that. It's so crazy that there's those two pictures of the three of us. As you can see, at least one of us still has hair. That was at the sales. Chuck is doing well, and for those of you that have got his contact information, long-term friends, everybody's Chuck's friend, countless friends from across the country, and in fact, Joe Valenti sitting right here. Chuck was with me for a couple of weeks when he got out of the hospital, and now is in town. So for those that are coming up with horses, you got to get in contact. Chuck is close by to the track, and you can come and see him and sit with him. He just finished his July treatment for the cancer, and now he's got 3-4 weeks to basically try to get strong again for the next series of tests and treatments. But he's so appreciative of everybody's incredible, overwhelming support. Literally one of the industry's most liked and admired individuals, and get a hold of Chuck, and let's all lift him up through this really challenging health crisis. So I wanted to give everybody an update.
Yeah. As I say, I've had half a dozen people ask. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, the Bloodstock folks who were in on the winner of the stake yesterday up here at Saratoga. We'll talk about that and more right after this. Stay tuned.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish of the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
We're back on Loose on the Lead on what's turned into a very busy and frenetic morning. And just wait. If you think it's been crazy and frenetic, look what we got here. we got the hardest chargers in the Bloodstock game, Team Legion. And it really is a team, right? I mean,
Yep.
Just crazy how many you got. Burr. Who else?
Cianello.
Right, Evan Chianello. How many people involved in Legion Bloodstock?
Well, currently it's Christian and myself,
right,
and Travis Durr now. Evan Cianello took a step back.
Okay.
They're raising kids at home, and his wife's very busy with phasic. So it's just the three of us moving forward now. But
okay.
Yeah, but Evan's still
that's great.
Yeah, he's still a big part of. Evan helps us out with a lot of other stuff, with sales and stuff too.
Outstanding. Well, from really any level of bloodstock acquisition, get into the origins actually and how it all came together.
Why don't you take that?
I guess the three, we've all known each other for a long time, so we always kind of worked together and did stuff together. And then about, 3 years ago now, we decided to kind of all join forces and start Legion, and
interesting,
kind of snowballed from there.
And it happened fast. I mean, and explain the division of responsibilities, because Travis, of course, had his training, training operation and the developing of young horses for, whether for campaigns for owners or as pinhooks and such. But what was everybody doing at the time? Identify each responsibility.
So I met Travis and Christian. I worked on the track. I was Pat Burns.
Kyle Zorn, by the way.
Yep, I was Pat Burns' assistant trainer for about 10 years, and one of our owners at the tail end of Pat's career was Chuck and Mary Beth Sanford, who had Take Charge Indy. In a weird twist of fate, Mr. Sanford passed away right about the same time my mother-in-law passed away, both from cancer. Miss Sanford and my father-in-law met through the grieving process, and anyway, she's now become a part of our family. So we started managing all her horses. So that was the first time we were just kind of making some changes, and I started sending horses down to Travis. So we became really good buddies. I met Christian along that way, and we all kind of just started talking, and we said, we keep landing on the same horses at the sale, like Christian said, and it just kind of made sense. Instead of fighting each other over the same horses, we kind of put it all together. But yeah, just like you said, Travis, obviously he's at every sale with us, but we feel like that's one of our big upper hands, is that we have Travis Durr Training Center. So not only do we get to see the horses along the way, but we get to invite our owners down there. They get to watch the horses come up. But yeah, I mean, everybody's got their niche. I'll be the first one to tell you, Christian and Travis have more of the eye. But we split up at the sales, and we kind of do short lists and come back together, look at them, and kind of pick them apart like that.
What's in terms of specialties and in terms of the wide array of opportunity, from weanling to short yearling to July, August, September, October yearlings? What's your 2-year-old in training? What do you feel is the sweet spot, or do you not care? Is it based on client desires and what they're looking to do, or how much of that is your direction with the clients? If you talk about Christian, how you approach that, and what you consider your sweet spot in terms of identifying horses for purchase.
I think, like you said, it really just comes down to what the clients want. I don't really think we have a sweet spot as a company. Like Moplex yesterday was a 2-year-old purchase. Anna Marie was a yearling purchase. So I think we kind of can do well with any form, but it's really just kind of mixing what the client wants, and then it's our job to go find it.
How about budget-wise? I mean, because the budget, you've bought a wide array of prices.
Moplex, $45,000. Yeah. That's a nice buy.
Anna Marie was $40. So we're kind of getting this reputation, I guess, for value. I mean, everybody keeps coming up to us, how are you finding these horses? That's not the only price range we obviously buy out of. No. We've got guys looking to spend all over the map. But, for us, the horse has to have the shape we're looking for first and foremost. And then, we get into the pedigree side of it. And if it's a $40,000 horse or a $400,000 horse, that's kind of what we're looking for. But yeah, Christian and I went to golf last year with the intent of buying 1 or 2. We ended up coming home with 10. So, it's just, you get to these places and you find those horses. And if they're there, we make the phone calls. And luckily we've got a great group of clients that listen.
Well, that's an interesting aspect. You certainly, when I talked to Mark Cassie, we talked to Kenny McPeak, who were both pretty notorious for sticking out. I mean, at Keeneland, literally through book 6 and through that last horse in the ring, and they'll just buy. Yeah. And sometimes they're filling orders. Other times they're buying on spec, and then you'll get out the Rolodex and start. I think I got a horse for you, and whether you're selling, 25%, 50%. Somebody takes a whole horse, and that's also how you guys have ended up on the ownership line a few times, retaining a piece that either didn't sell or that you really wanted to have for yourself.
Yeah, because we believe in them. We wouldn't buy them if we didn't, and that's the Legion Racing Groups. It's kind of a different structure than what's currently out there. We feel like we buy these horses mainly in groups of 4 or 5. But just like you said, we'll buy the horses if they're there, and then we'll worry about piecing them out after the fact. And the racing groups have done very well. And what we found out is the cool thing about the racing groups is we get people getting into them for different reasons. A good example is the Keri and Alan Ribble, who are Ribble Farms, who bought Honor Marie. They got into the groups for the fact that they wanted to spread it out, and if one of the horses does do well or wins early, they want to be the first one to try to buy more of that horse. And that's how we've structured it. People in the racing groups get first right of refusal. So they looked at it as, well, if I own a percentage in each one of these groups, I'm at least getting first look at them. And that model has worked very well for them. And, there they are in 2 years, on the Triple Crown campaign. So, yeah.
I just wanted to go back to basics, because this time of year with Saratoga, we're pulling a lot of new people into the game, and I think we have a lot of people tuned in the morning who are fairly new to the game, and Bloodstock work is kind of behind the scenes for a lot of people, but it's important. So just give us the basics. What is your mission? What's the job of a Bloodstock agent?
Well, it's kind of morphed into a lot more than what just I would define as traditional Bloodstock, and I think that's the side of it that you see with us is we're fans. I mean, that's the whole reason we're in this. Christian worked for Todd Pletcher. I was with Pat, and racing is our passion. So being a part of the Legion groups, or even if it's a horse we bought privately, Moplex is a perfect example. We live vicariously through these horses. I mean, it's our fun too. So it's turned out to be more than just buying horses. We're managing these horses with the trainers. For our owners, filling them in. We have these racing WhatsApp groups that have turned into these crazy conversations between people that are brand new and guys like Jason Worth, and I mean it's become so much more than just showing up and buying a horse after a race or buying a horse at the sale.
Christian, I'll ask you, because you've kind of alluded to it now, but I'm curious. It's a new world, so how does social media play into what you guys do?
Kyle's our director of social media.
Yeah, that's.
You were asking what everyone's role is.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, where I fall in line. It's tough, I mean, it's tough. I've got another small business that relies very heavily on social media, so we try to take some of that in there. But it is, I think that's one of the parts that still has some growth in the racing world. I think people have started to adapt more to it, even some of the, the older guys. But if you look, I mean, in almost every industry, I mean, that's where everyone's focusing. It's not on, you used to see a lot of ads, and now it's more lifestyle type stuff. And, we try to get the videos of, the goofy stuff as well, and people like that stuff. They follow you for that stuff. And we've still got some growing to do, but, we brought in a group from Newmarket this past year that did our first video for us, just to put it on our website and try to kind of promote who Legion is. And it was done so well. They also do all the social media for Flavian Pratt and Starlight, that we brought them back over for the Derby this year. And we said, look, we hope this happens every year, but we're realists. We don't know, when it'll happen again. So we want you just following us around, and the owners. We want them to have, because you don't want them to have their phones out the whole time, and we don't want to have ours out. You want to sit there and enjoy the moment and let these people live and watch it on it. And the videos they get are just, we can't do that. We're not that talented. But now you go back and and then we did one for the Belmont, and now you got this trilogy, and now we're going to do one for the Travers, and we've started to step up. You'll see different hats that of course, neither one of us is wearing one now, but we get more people asking about, where do I get a hat and stuff. So we're looking at adding that kind of stuff into it and stuff.
That's a great idea. If you can have somebody follow you around taking the video rather than, because you're looking at people and thinking, oh, live in the moment. Don't be looking at your phone. Take advantage. Talk a little bit about, we'll pull up the replay here from yesterday of the Sanford. Moplex is going to be the number 8 horse. Jeremiah Engelhardt trainee. Irad was on board. But a New York bred, and again, $45,000 at Ocala back in April. And I think after we watched this replay, I also called up for the workout video from Ocala back in April. So talk a little bit about buying the horse and the horse being a New York bred.
I'll let you talk about that.
He worked great in Ocala. We kind of, like Kyle said, the whole team's down there looking at everything. Jeremiah came down. We used Christy McDermott's breeze notes when we're down there at the sales. She's a big part of all this. And Jesse Hoppel, who we bought him off of, is a close friend of ours and has a great track record, and we buy and sell with him. So Jesse stood by the horse. He was owned by the breeders of him, so we'd never been through a previous sale. And Jesse liked him all year long, and we've had a lot of luck with complexity, and we've bought a few of them. Travis has always liked them, so we went to 2-year-old sales this year. We kind of were looking for some complexities if we could find them. So he made all of our lists down there, and then once Jeremiah showed up, we showed him to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah loved him, and then it was just figuring out who we were going to buy him for.
Did being a New York bred play into it?
Yes, Jeremiah was coming down there specifically to buy New York breds. We bought him and then a Speightstown filly out of the same sale for Jeremiah. But it's kind of how we work all the sales. We go through and make our lists, and then the trainers come down, and if they like the horses, we move forward from there. But they have to train them, so they have to like what they're getting.
Here's the workout video. So obviously you guys were impressed. But again, that $45,000 you got to steal there, and you have to be absolutely thrilled to get a stakes ready. Second career start, $45,000 New York bred, an open company stake at Saratoga. And when you guys came up on the stage, you said before we went on the air, big night last night. I assume it had to be.
It's pretty rough. There's bottles of water hitting all underneath there. But we brought Triple Trey to this race last year. Another nice horse that won first time out for Barbara Minshaw, and we were real excited about him. Didn't have the best trip, but we kind of thought we were bringing another one in with Maya. The way Maya had been talking about the horse, he doesn't typically talk like that on most of them. He kind of stays pretty level-headed, and he was pretty high on him.
He said in the winner's circle that he had the horse out for a workout just recently, and there were a couple of Todd horses working, and he was right there with the Todd horses, and he said to Todd, who are those horses? Well, those are your competition in the stakes race. So Maya kind of seemed like, I felt pretty good after that.
That's when I booked my ticket, right after that, to make sure I came up here and sent that video.
Talk about the fact that this horse worked a quarter of a mile as opposed to the eighth. And what your general approach is, or if you have no preference necessarily, the work in its entirety, and of course the gallop outs at the Bree Show is. I mean, a lot of people don't even really care what goes on early. What they want to see is the horse, coming around the turn. And you mentioned you did mention your note taker down there. I friendly with Mike Vesey, and he's down there, and our man Steve. Who's working privately now. But there's a cast of clockers that are unknown to the general public, that are strictly on hand at the Bree shows, and are working up a master list with rankings of the drills. But talk about the quarter mile versus the eighth.
I don't really have a preference either way, but just like what you were just saying about the gallop outs, it's really kind of where all these horses separate themselves. You can watch hundreds of horses breeze at the sale, and they're all going to breeze between 9-4 and 10-4. But then on the gallop outs, the times really start to change. You kind of get a good idea as to what they actually are. It's kind of hard to base it off of a fifth of a second. But when you get a whole half mile to actually work them, and we're down there a lot. I live in Ocala, so you get to watch these 2-year-olds train all year long. And it kind of goes back to what you said about Jesse Hoppel. We've had a lot of luck buying off of him, so you kind of target those farms throughout the year and kind of watch them. And before you even get to the 2-year-old sales, we kind of have a good read on what the market's going to be and kind of what horses we're going to try and identify.
We've mentioned Anna Marie, and I wanted to pull up a replay. Kentucky Jockey Club last November. Anna Marie is going to be the number 2 horse here and get a victory. This one was a Keeneland September 22 purchase. Again, $40,000, very nice. But obviously at the 2-year-old sales, you get that workout. Yearlings, as I've talked to other bloodstock agents in here over the years, you like to look at the conformation and whatnot. They also say you like to try to decide the mental aspect. Horses who are kind of curious and looking out their stalls.
Sure.
So when you're looking at yearlings, what are you guys looking at?
I think all the above, everything you just mentioned. With the racing groups in particular, we've even changed those a little bit. When we first started them, the whole angle was to try to win early. And obviously Anna Marie, broke his maiden in, I believe, October of his 2-year-old year, so not super early. But we're starting to kind of change directions a little bit, I would say, just because, we're seeing the value of these horses, as they get into their 3-year-old years and such. And that our trainers, between Whit Beckman and Jeremiah and Barb, we let them, be the deciding factor after we purchase them, and they'll tell us, look, we need to slow down on this one, speed up, whatever. But I mean, I would say, when we look at them together, I think we just kind of get back to it. They've got to have the shape that we look for first and foremost, and then we start kind of, I wouldn't say beating them up after that, but he was obviously worth the shot. Honor Code was a little cold at the time, and he was one. He had a big walk on him. Christian loved the horse, and we went back up there, and it was one of those ones we get excited about when all three of us, and Christy and everybody's up there, and we look at him at the same time, and we say, yeah, it was a no-brainer.
Well, and it's hard to believe you guys have been on for 20-plus minutes, and Whit Beckman's name finally got mentioned. That's shocking.
Well, he's mentioned everywhere else. We're trying to keep it level-headed, especially around the girls here at Saratoga. So I hear another thing about Whit. I'm telling you, yeah.
And we should mention, and not just because Anna Marie was my Derby horse from fairly early on, but I mean, literally, a lot of horses have trouble in the Derby. Yeah. Nobody had it worse than Anna Marie, and still managed to gather himself and put in a good showing, and is going to train right up to Travers.
Correct.
Yeah, he had a great work yesterday here. He worked in company with another filly we have with Whit named Zadorsky. Kind of his first work since he got up here, but Whit was very happy with it, so
good.
Keep progressing.
Oh my gosh, the other one that burst on the scene. The short name.
Drip.
Yeah. What's going on with Drip?
Drip's doing well. He's about to. We gave Drip some time. When he won impressively down at Fairgrounds that day, he was the buzz horse. But he was still, he was green. I mean, he never switched leads. We kind of had to take a step back and say, all right, what do we want to do here? Because he was going through a big growth spurt. We looked at running him back real quick in the Tampa Bay Derby, which I think he'd have been very competitive. We actually entered, I believe, in. We listened to Whit, and Whit just said, look, guys, I think he's the kind that needs a little bit more time, and that's what we've done. We sent him up, just kind of let him be a horse for a little bit. He actually goes back to Whit in about a week and a half.
Nice.
So Whit's very excited about it. We get more questions about Drip than we do Anna Marie, which is crazy. But we're real excited to get him back in the barn and get him training forward, too.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All right. We've got to wrap it up. We appreciate the visit. Legion, Bloodstock, Kyle Zorn, Christian Vellante. Again, congratulations on the win in the stakes race yesterday.
Thank you.
Local connections own, right?
Yes.
The horse.
R&H stable.
And again, New York bred, so lots of opportunities with that one. But congratulations there. Good luck going forward at the meet and beyond. And we appreciate the visit this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
The Hard Chargers. The Young Lions.
Like you say, it's the theme. It's the theme. I like that.
Today.
I like that.
I got to slip something in.
Okay.
Word has come this morning that Lou Albertrani passed away overnight. Tom's brother, of course, the trainer of Artax, and deepest sympathies to the Albertrani family. Lou just stopped. He retired only like 3 years ago. So I wanted to pass that along to everybody.
Yeah, so, thoughts go out. All right, we'll wrap it up for Loose on the Lead. Kicking off the are you here next Sunday or no?
I am going to be here.
Oh.
We got we got to come back because we got the grandkids coming into town. So back from Jersey, but I'll be at Monmouth Tuesday through Friday. And so, yes, you do have me. And in fact, then I go to Iowa, but I'll be back from Prairie Meadows and the HBPA convention as well. So, in fact, you're not getting rid of me so easy there, Smiley.
Good. So day one.
Beat Bick.
Good. Yeah, mention it. Beat Bick, NHC. It gets you into a qualifying contest potentially for the NHC. Go to the NHC website. I'm in already for this weekend. Yesterday, not so good. But
well, yesterday, I mean, I picked Moira, and White Beam was I'm sure a lot of people got in.
Moira
Today, I'm making it real. I think I'm making it easy on everybody.
I went with your horse.
Quick Call and Star of Mystery. Which is about, people are like, oh, she's running against the boys. She ran against the boys, the older boys, elders in Europe. This is crazy. She's like a Rachel Alexandra for the Turf Sprint set, a 3-year-old filly, Star of Mystery. You want to come out and see her today, but NTRA.com/NHC/Beat and register. You got to be a tour member. Spend the $50. Get into the final. You only have to be right once, whether you pick with me or pick a different horse. We got 8 weeks of this, and then the third week in September, we'll play it down. One of you will go to Vegas, Horseshoe Las Vegas, and represent my show.
I hope it's me. I'm rooting for me.
That would be unbelievable. That would be amazing. Will they let you off from your?
I think.
Yeah. All right. They're not chained to the desk at Capitol
for that,
FUB?
All right. We got to wrap it up. We're slightly over. Slightly over time this morning, but it's always worth it on Loose on the Lead.
Exactly.
So appreciate your tuning in. Again, as far as the morning programming, we're back Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Handicapper support, 10 a.m. Racing Across America. Enjoy the racing this afternoon. We'll see you again Wednesday.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.